Alright, so you're trying to quit smoking that gas. You probably tried quitting multiple times now, but for some reason you just keep going back to smoking that gas. You probably quit for a couple of weeks or maybe even a couple of months, but for some reason that gas just keeps pulling you back to the gas station. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to easily, and yes, I said easily, quit smoking weed for good. I recommend you watch the full video till the end because I guarantee you this is going to change your life. This is going to be some advice that you've never heard before. So keep watching. So a bit of background about me. I used to be addicted to smoking weed for multiple years and I had trouble quitting for the longest time until I used the methods that I'm going to teach you in this video. I have a whole video explaining on how quitting weed changed my life and pretty much what my life was like after quitting weed. Pretty much just the gist of it is I felt a lot better. I felt more sharp, more clean, more clear. My dopamine levels went back to normal because I wasn't spiking my dopamine every single day, just ruining my brain chemistry. So everything is just a lot better. My life improved in every single area you could think of. If you want to hear all the benefits and my full story, then just watch the full video. I'll link it down in the description. It's a pretty fire video, so I recommend you watch that too. So the first thing we're going to talk about is your mindset. And do not skip this part of the video because this is the most important part of the video, so keep watching. A lot of people who try to quit, the reason why they fail is because they don't have the proper mindset. The thing you need to understand about quitting is you need to outgrow your addiction. I'll say that again. You need to outgrow your addiction. Most people who try to quit, they probably quit for a couple days or a couple weeks or maybe even a couple of months, but they always go back to smoking weed. Why? Because they haven't outgrown their addiction. They're still the same person that they were when they quit smoking weed. They haven't grown as a person, so they're more prone to going back to the addiction because they're still the same person. So I'll put up a chart to break it down a bit easier. So on the left side of the chart, this represents your lifestyle. And let's say level 100 just symbolizes all your hopes and dreams come true, just the most idealistic lifestyle that you could think of. And number 1 represents just you as the lowest version of yourself, like a crackhead, scumbag, just waste of human space, just dirty person. And the right side of the chart represents your personal level. Now let's say weed on the left side of the chart is at level 30. Most people go back to smoking weed because they don't raise their personal level on the chart. So let's say you quit smoking weed for a couple of days or a couple of weeks and your level goes up to, let's say, about level 32 or maybe even 35. It's super easy for you to get sucked back down to the level 30, which is the level of weed, because the gap between 30 and 35 is super small. Now let's say you're to raise your personal level all the way to level 60. It would be super fucking hard for you to go back to level 30 because the gap between 30 and 60 is super big. So the reason why most people go back to smoking weed is because they linger around that level 30. They linger around the level of weed. So what's going to happen? They're going to easily just get sucked back into it. So when you quit smoking weed, when you put down the blunt, you actively have to try to be raising your personal level so you don't get sucked the fuck back down. So how do you raise your personal level on this chart? So this brings me to my next point. You need to start improving yourself in all different areas. You need to start self-improvement. The thing about most of you stoners, and this might not be all of you, but the thing about most of you stoners is that you live the most shitty, most degenerate sort of lifestyles. When you just finish smoking weed, what do you usually do? Be honest. You probably watch Netflix, you probably play video games, you probably eat a bunch of junk food, you probably whack off. You just partake in a bunch of instant gratification. So the reason why you always go back to smoking weed is because weed complements your shitty lifestyle. Whenever you quit for a couple of days, you're probably thinking, oh man, watching Netflix would be so much better when I'm high. Yo bro, whacking off is just not the same when I'm sober. Yo man, playing Minecraft is just not the same when I'm sober. If I was living that type of lifestyle, then I would be craving smoking weed too. So when you decide to quit, you need to instantly start improving your lifestyle. You need to start getting rid of all the bad habits that you do and start adopting good habits. You need to start adopting some form of self-discipline. Stop doing all the whacking off, stop doing all the Netflix, video games, all that degenerate behavior, and start doing things like going to the gym, meditating, reading books, doing some sort of productive hobby that will actually take up most of your time. Doing all these things like working on your physical health, your mental health, cleaning up your shitty lifestyle is going to raise your level on that chart, which is going to make it super hard for you to go back to smoking weed. The reason why this method is so easy is because once you start actually raising your level on that chart, you're going to just naturally stop wanting to smoke weed. Once you start improving yourself in all areas, it's going to create a snowball effect and just smoking weed just doesn't seem appealing to you anymore. You're not itching like a crackhead like, I need weed. I need my weed. Oh my God. Like, you're not doing that. Once you're at a high level and you start experiencing what feeling good naturally actually feels like, you're just not going to want to smoke anymore. The reason why people struggle so much when they try to quit is because they're still stuck at that level 30. They're not raising themselves. So what happens is they have to deal with so much urges and temptation because they're still at the same level of weed. So weed still seems compelling to them. So they have so much internal conflict. Just, oh, should I smoke? Oh, should I not smoke? Oh, I shouldn't do this. Oh, should. And then they end up smoking, and then they feel guilt. They feel shame. And then it's a whole cycle of trying to quit, trying not to quit, trying to quit, trying not to quit. But they don't realize that if they just raise their level, then it will be so much easier. And the thing is, once you raise your personal level on that chart high enough, you could actually smoke weed again. But the thing is that when you actually smoke, you're gonna hate it. And this is actually what happened to me. When I quit smoking weed, I probably was about, I don't know, like 6 months sober, and I ended up smoking weed again. But the thing is, since my level on that chart was so high and my lifestyle was congruent to a higher number on that chart, when I smoked the weed, I did not like it at all. The next day when I woke up after I smoked, I noticed that I just felt lethargic. I just felt tired. I had so much brain fog. I just didn't feel good at all. When you're at a higher level, you feel so good that you don't need anything to actually make you feel better. When you're at a high level, you're running at max efficiency and weed just slows you down. When you're operating at a high level, there's no room for weed in your life. When I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is go to the gym. So if I smoke weed the night before, it'll make me tired the next day, which will affect my workout, which I do not like. This is actually a good example. Let's say you're driving a Lamborghini for about 6 months straight. That's the only car you've ever driven for the past 6 months. And then randomly you just start driving a 2001 Honda Civic. The thing is that you're going to notice the difference between the Lamborghini and the Honda Civic. You're not going to like driving in the Honda Civic because you're so used to the Lamborghini speed that when you start driving at the speed of the Honda Civic, you're going to be like, yo, what the fuck is this shit, bro? And yeah, the thing is that I'll probably smoke once every 6 to 7 months with my stoner friends just for fun. But the thing is that I don't crave it after. I don't feel the urge or need to smoke anymore. I could go the rest of my life without smoking and I'll be completely fine. But the thing is that someone who doesn't raise their personal level on the chart, they could go months without smoking. They could even go years without smoking. But if they just take one hit of a blunt, then boom, full-blown addiction happens again. Now, we're going to talk about withdrawals. Yes, when you quit smoking, you're going to get withdrawals. But the thing is, don't be a fucking pussy. Just deal with it. You're probably going to not be able to sleep for 2 weeks or whatever. But just deal with it, bro. Honestly, like, there's nothing that can be said. Just don't be a bitch. All the withdrawal symptoms will probably go away within 2 to 3 weeks. You'll be fine. If you want to learn more about what I'm saying and you want me to get deeper into this topic, watch the video I made about addictions. All right, guys, good luck with the quitting. Just stay at it. And honestly, just don't be a little bitch, bro. Just do it, man. Like, do what I'm telling you in this video, and I guarantee you, you will end up quitting weed for as long as you want. All right, guys, I'm out. Later.